Have you ever wondered if the history of humanity is really as we learned it from school books? What if there were powerful beings who visited our planet thousands of years ago and played a direct role in the creation and evolution of human beings? This is the basis of the Anunnaki theory. Entities that, according to ancient Sumerian records, came from another planet and shaped entire civilizations. In this video we will dive deep into this fascinating theory and present 7 signs that many believe are evidence that the Anunnaki are real. Get ready to expand your mind, question what you know as truth, and reflect on our past, and maybe even our future. Let's get to the first sign. Sign 1. Detailed Sumerian records. The most important starting point of this theory is the ancient records of the Sumerian civilization, considered the oldest of humanity. On clay tablets written in cuneiform, the Sumerians described with impressive detail beings called the Anunnaki, whose name can be translated as those who came from the sky. These texts do not speak of abstract deities, but of physical beings who came from elsewhere, from the sky, and who supposedly created humanity as workers, genetically manipulating the living beings of Earth. They also taught humans how to build cities, create political systems, and organize society. The level of detail in these records is so high that many alternative scholars believe they are not merely mythological but coded descriptions of real facts. The Sumerians claim that the Anunnaki lived among them, had names, responsibilities, and even internal conflicts. The question remains, how could such an ancient civilization invent something so sophisticated out of nowhere? Were they recording facts they truly witnessed? Sign 2. Ancient constructions that defy logic. The second sign is physical, visible, and spread all over the planet. The megalithic constructions of the ancient world. The Egyptian pyramids, Mesopotamian ziggurats, the Nazca lines in Peru, the Baalbek complex in Lebanon, Stonehenge in England, among other structures, continue to challenge modern engineering. How did ancient peoples without access to industrial technology or heavy machinery manage to cut, transport, and position blocks weighing hundreds of tons with such precision? Some of these constructions have perfect astronomical alignments with solstices, equinoxes, and important constellations, suggesting not only engineering but also advanced astronomical knowledge. For supporters of the Anunnaki theory, these constructions would be the legacy left by these beings. They would have provided technical knowledge or even directly participated in the construction, creating lasting monuments as marks of their presence on Earth. Sign 3. Similar mythologies in different cultures. Now onto the third sign. Mythologies around the world that, even separated by thousands of kilometers and with no contact, tell surprisingly similar stories. In Sumer, the Anunnaki came from the sky and created humans. In Egypt, the gods also came from the stars. In ancient India, the Devas and Asuras fought wars with weapons of mass destruction in the skies. In the Americas, people spoke of white, bearded gods who descended from the skies and taught astronomy, agriculture, and architecture. In all these cultures, there is a common narrative. Celestial gods arrived on Earth, interacted with humans, and transformed civilization. Coincidence? For many, no. This repetitive pattern may reflect a single global experience: the visit of extraterrestrial beings to Earth in ancient times. The names change, the symbols change, but the essence of the story remains the same. Sign 4. The ancient obsession with gold. Gold has always been valued for its beauty, rarity, and durability. But why did almost all ancient human cultures give it so much importance, even before monetary systems existed? The Anunnaki theory suggests a simple and unsettling answer. Gold was the main objective of the Anunnaki. They came to Earth to extract this metal and use it on their home planet, Nibiru, possibly to repair the atmosphere or as an energy source. Interestingly, the ancient Sumerians, Egyptians, and even pre-Columbian peoples associated gold with the gods. The Sumerian records themselves mention that the Anunnaki created humans to work in the mines. The remains of these mines, by the way, still exist in South Africa and date back tens of thousands of years. This may be just a coincidence, but it raises a legitimate question. Could the symbolic and spiritual value we give to gold today be an unconscious inheritance from this past? Sign 5. Unexplained genetic evidence. The fifth sign is perhaps the most intriguing: our own DNA. Researchers and alternative scientists claim that there are features in the human genome that do not fit perfectly within the model of natural evolution. There are DNA sequences that seem to have been inserted abruptly in the species' history. Moreover, about 97% of our DNA is considered by conventional science as junk DNA. That is, genetic material that apparently has no function. But what if this junk DNA is actually a code inherited from another civilization? What if the Anunnaki, as the Sumerian texts state, really modified the genes of hominids to create Homo sapiens as we know them today? This idea, although rejected by much of the scientific community, is defended by alternative researchers such as Zecharia Sitchin, who devoted decades to translating the Sumerian texts and proposed that humans are a biological creation of extraterrestrial beings with specific purposes. Sign 6. Modern contact reports. You might think the Anunnaki belong only to the distant past. But the sixth sign brings us to today. Modern reports of contact with beings similar to those described in ancient civilizations. Around the world, there are people who claim to have had encounters with tall beings with light skin, piercing eyes, and an intense presence. These reports are not limited to UFO experiences but also appear in altered states of consciousness, lucid dreams, and deep spiritual experiences. Although these reports are not considered scientific proof, they occur across different cultures, times, and contexts. Some of these people report receiving messages from these beings about protecting the earth, spiritual awakening, and preparation for great changes. For believers, the Anunnaki never left. They would be watching us, perhaps even secretly interacting with governments or influencing world events. Sign 7. The mystery of Nibiru. And we arrive at the seventh and final sign, the planet Nibiru. According to ancient Mesopotamian texts and the interpretation of scholars like Sitchin, the Anunnaki came from Nibiru, a planet that is part of our solar system but has an extremely long orbit, passing near Earth only every 3,600 years. Although official science denies the existence of Nibiru, curiously, NASA and astronomers acknowledge that there is evidence that a large unidentified celestial body may be influencing objects at the edge of the solar system. They call it Planet 9, and no one knows exactly where it is. If Nibiru really exists and returns periodically, it could explain major cyclical events in human history: mass extinctions, abrupt climate changes, and even collapses of civilizations. For those who believe in the theory, the return of Nibiru may signify a new visit from the Anunnaki, or the repetition of cosmic cycles that have already affected humanity in the past. These are the 7 signs that many point to as strong evidence of the real presence and influence of the Anunnaki in human history. Although traditional science views these theories with skepticism, the number of coincidences, reports, and records is enough to awaken curiosity and keep the debate about our true origins alive. Were we created by an advanced extraterrestrial race? Are they still among us? Or is all this just a symbolic way to express our doubts about existence? The important thing is to keep an open mind and continue seeking answers. If you enjoyed this content and want to delve deeper into ancient mysteries, hidden theories, and stories that challenge logic, subscribe to the channel now. Activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos, leave your like, and share with those who also love exploring the limits of human knowledge. And now we want to know from you, which of these 7 signs impressed you the most? Do you believe the Anunnaki are real? Leave your opinion in the comments, we'll read and respond to the best ones. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.